Hi, this is Jeff Shaw with Elevate Realty, and a question that came up for me this week is how to choose a lender. So I've got a buyer who is well qualified for way over the price point that they want to buy, and they got one pre-approval from a bank, and then they realized that everybody started sending them offers. And at first they were angry, but then they realized, oh, that means I can shop around, and they kind of did a little research and found out that they could. So my guidance to somebody who's shopping around for a loan is, first of all, obviously most people are going to look at the rate and what they qualify for and what type of financing product they can get. And maybe if they can get some kind of, some banks offer down payment assistance, although that's very rare these days. But they do come up every once in a while. So those kinds of programs can be helpful to some buyers. But really the way that you want to pick a lender is you want somebody that's available. Customer service is absolutely key in this scenario because it's such a big purchase. You need somebody that either you have a relationship with or your agent has a relationship with, where you can pick up the phone and talk to that person and get answers as things come up. If there's any kind of issues or if there's any kind of information you need or deadline coming up, you want to be able to be in communication with that person 7 days a week. That's where it's really tough if you're qualified with a bank. Sometimes you won't get an answer till the end of the day. And in worst case scenarios, and I've had this happen where we've had a question we needed an answer to on a Thursday afternoon, Friday morning. It was actually a Thursday night. We didn't get an answer until Monday afternoon. Our business days are 7 days a week in real estate, so that's too long. So you need to have somebody that you can call, that you have access to all the time. The other thing is you want to make sure that your bank is going to hit the deadlines. And what I mean by that is they have a specific deadline called loan commitment. That's the date that we've told the seller, and especially on the Missouri contract, the way that we work here in St. Louis, we have a date that we've told the seller we're going to make sure that they're through underwriting and that the bank is giving them a loan. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're like that date has to be. I usually put it about a week out from the closing date, and that doesn't mean that they have all the numbers put together. But what they'll do is they'll say, yes, we've gone through all of the paperwork and everything that's been sent in by the buyer, and they are approved based on the paperwork, not just what they say and what we heard from them. And then they'll double check the employment, they'll double check the credit in some cases, and they'll be quote clear to close, and you'll get your final numbers based on your closing date and the property, etc. But that deadline's important, and there are banks that do not care about that deadline and act as if it's foreign to them. That's what escapes me. I think most often it's the banks that are out of state. Maybe the terminology is different. I don't really know, but I've had banks sound very surprised that they needed to come up with an actual loan commitment form letter that says, yes, we're going to give them a loan. But that's important. And an online lender, and this is that deadline. And I've never had myself, but I've had lenders who were a little more lazy about the actual closing date, and that's not a good situation to be in. So you got to have good communication with your lender the whole way, and it's important that you find somebody that has a relationship with you or the agent. That's my 2 cents. It's Jeff Shaw, Elevate Realty.